Everyone. Welcome to Source Snack Break. I am Ren with Source. Today is Monday, July 27th. Super hot here in Portland. So before we get started, I'll explain a couple things about the webinar tool. You're all muted automatically, but you do have access to the live chat there on the right. So you can pop in your favorite emoji to try it out. You can also use the live chat to ask questions or comment. We'll make sure we answer any questions you have, so bring it on. We love them. We'll also send you a recording of the webinar after the presentation, so you can reference it later or send it to a friend, whatever you like. Today's guest is Robert with Architectural Resources Northwest. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Ren. How are you?
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background before we get into these two different products?
Yeah, absolutely. Resources Northwest, I started it just about 2 years ago in July of 2018 as an independent rep firm. Prior to that, I worked as a regional sales director for Pinta Acoustic, which is one of the lines we'll chat about here. And so I do have some technical background in acoustics and happy to be a resource in that way. And a lot of the lines that I focus on tend to be Division 9, a lot of interior stuff, but branching off into exterior a little bit into landscape architecture.
Oh, we have some landscape friends. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into it because acoustics are always super popular. Can you tell us a little bit about Pinta Acoustic as a company?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pinta Acoustic, their U.S. headquarters is in Minneapolis. They've been around for decades now, and what they've used as their primary material is a product they brand Wiltec foam, which is a fiber-free melamine resin foam. It's an open cell material. In fact, if you've ever used Mr. Clean Magic Eraser sponges, it's actually that same foam. It's a different grade, but it's the same material. So Pinta is the largest importer of this material in North America, and they buy it in what they call buns that are 4 foot by 8 foot by about 19 inches thick. So the nice thing about that is the designer can work within that volume to create custom pieces. They also have standard options as well, of course, but you really have a nice design palette, so you can incorporate the function of acoustics in a space while not sacrificing design options.
Sweet. So what? I love it. All the like pool noodles and the fun shapes. Right. So can you talk a little bit about what a designer? Why would a designer choose a fun shape like this? What does it get you? What should you think about when it comes to acoustics?
Absolutely. So, I mean, basically, it just gives you the option. When people think acoustics, I think one of the first things that comes to mind is maybe a mineral board ceiling tile that just lays in a grid and white and kind of up there and, looks a little dated, of course. So this just gives the designer an option to add some visual kind of aesthetic splash, I guess, to the space. Really, it just gives them that option, so we can still get the ambient sound down to where it needs to be for speech intelligibility purposes. But we can have fun with it too and get creative, which is always nice.
Can designers do custom shapes?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything within that 4 by 8 by 19 inch thick block, they can work within that, and yeah, they can come up with different ideas. We run it by the engineers. They can say, yeah, we can do it, or no, this is how we have to tweak it. And yeah, we can definitely.
Awesome. So it was my experience when I spec'd one of these pool noodles, which was super fun. I know that's not their technical term, but it's what they look like to me. And they were pretty easy to work with in that you could sort of screw the mounting hardware just into the foam. Right. Is that sort of how it works?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that product is called Rondo, and in that photo that you've got on your screen share there, the designer wanted those to look like the pool noodles that the kids play with. So that was the whole concept. So yeah, but it's a very lightweight material, and so basically Pinta also has a corkscrew hanger with an eyelet at the top, and that just screws right into the material itself, and then you can hang it. I've seen it hung from fishing line, from threaded rod, from ball chain, just different things. Whatever works.
Nice.
The lightweight, just makes it flexible that way.
Awesome. Yeah. So here's another cute photo of these pool noodles. They're just so fun. And it looks like it can go on the wall. Is that also correct?
Yeah. So the material is often on the wall. It's just put up with a panel adhesive. Pinta has their own adhesive that's water-based. They could also use the liquid nails. As long as it says safe for foam board on the tube, it'll work just fine.
Awesome. So when it comes to acoustics, I know you have some history in this. What are some things that designers should keep in mind? Like, are there certain like spaces in a room where you should target to make sure that speech is sort of coherent, that it's comfortable for folks? Like, what are some tips and tricks you can give us designers as someone who used to do this all the time?
Yeah, well, I mean, nowadays a lot of the office space is open office environments, right? So you have a lot of people moving around talking at the same time. So you really do want to get that sound absorption in there, just to create a more pleasant environment to work in for the over the course of the workday. One thing that we can help with is we can run a reverberation calculation on a room, and then give an educated idea of how much absorption you need to add in square footage, depending on the product you're using. Of course, there are a lot of great acoustical engineers in the Northwest here that can do the more detailed analysis as well.
Got it. And it seems like there are, for like different types of spaces need different types of acoustic things. Like you don't want a concert hall to sound the same as a classroom. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's correct. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And that's one thing that is calculated. We, depending on what the room is used for, whether it be speech or music or mixed use, we think about all those variables when we're making those determinations.
Got it. And so if the designer knows like what level they need to get at, can they work with you to sort of come up with a custom set of, or like the different types of Pinta acoustics to get the levels to that appropriate level, I guess? Are there different, like, is it like a mix and match? Can they work with you that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If they want to treat just the ceiling or just the walls or a combination of both, yeah, we can work with that for sure.
Got it. And I know that I was sort of a little pool noodle happy here, but what are the different ways that Pinta, like what are the different forms that it comes in? Can it like baffles or noodles or what are, wow us with all the ways we could put Pinta in a room.
Of course, yeah. So I would say wall panels is probably the most common. Lay-in ceiling tile or glue-up ceiling tile, baffles like you mentioned. Clouds is really popular. With where they hang horizontally there. The photo on the left in your screen share there, that's actually WSU and Pullman, and those continents and all the raised letters you see there, that's all that foam. With what's called an HPC coating over it. So that's basically it goes through the spray line at the factory, and it basically just adds a level of cleanability to it. But that's cut on the water jet, so it just shows really the detail that it can be cut in. And then the photo on the right there, that's a recent Amazon project up in Seattle where they wanted the rondo baffles in different diameters and lengths there.
Oh, interesting. That's super cool. Yeah. Where is this foam made? Do you know?
Yeah, primarily in Europe, BASF is the manufacturer of the foam, and there are a couple other manufacturers in, I think, Korea, and somewhere in Asia. I'm not sure anymore, but I think there's 3 manufacturers of the material out there in general. But yeah,
got it.
Primarily, it comes from Europe. The material Pinta uses.
Sweet. So what I'm hearing is basically go wild. Let's put acoustics everywhere, and let's make it look fun. Can you also do different colors? How do you change the color?
Yeah, so basically the foam itself comes in a natural gray or a natural white, and then Pinta has what they call standard and premium color options on their website, and you can take a look at those. And then they can also do a custom color match. I think they require a minimum of about 700 square feet of sprayable surface, but then they can take whatever Pantone that the designer might be interested in, match that. That's not a problem.
Is it paintable on site?
You can. Yep. There's a very specific process that has to be done with that, but I can definitely guide people in that if they want to do that. That's not a problem.
Okay. Awesome. So let's talk about your next product, Stacked Wood. Can you tell us a little bit about this company?
Yeah. So Stacked Wood, that's a brand that a company called LBI Boyd is the actual company itself, but Stacked Wood is one of their brands. It's a great product. It's creating a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement. It's probably the most cost-effective way to get real wood wall panels in a space. It's very cost-effective. Material costs usually run anywhere from, I would say, $13 to $17 a square foot. And that's for real wood, which is nice. And then, so you figure you add about $3 a square foot for installation. So you're probably maxed out about $20 a square foot, which for real wood is pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah. Where are they based out of?
That they're manufactured in a few different locations. One of the locations is British Columbia, which is kind of cool. And there's a cool little backstory there where the employees that make the material have usually some sort of special needs. So the company gives them an opportunity to work, and they also help pay for their schooling, which is awesome. So it's a kind of a vision as a company that I can really support and get behind.
That's awesome. The founder of Source is also from Canada, so we love finding our Canadian friends. So we love chatting about that. Sure. So let's get into the stacked wood. How is it made, and how does a designer specify it? Like, how is it attached to the wall? What does a designer need to keep in mind when it comes to like picking out a pattern, picking out a species, all that good stuff?
Right. So, well, the stacked wood, there's a lot of options as far as designs go, which you can just see right in that photo there. You can mount it horizontally, diagonally, vertically. It's a panelized system, so it usually comes, it's a panelized tongue and groove system. So the panels are about 14 inches by about 4 feet. And then being that they're tongue and groove, they kind of nest together, so all the seams are hidden usually. So as far as mounting method, it goes up with a panel adhesive and then finishing nails. In fact, they have a video on the website under resources. If you go to stackedwoodwalls.com, go to the resource tab, click on that, and then scroll to the bottom of the page, and there's a link to the video that shows the installation process and how simple it is.
Awesome. And can a designer work with them to pick a different species or a different pattern, or like, is there any customization there?
Absolutely. Yes to all those questions. Yeah, there's a ton of patterns, definitely custom available. Yeah, we're just really excited. We have a brand new addition to stacked wood that they're calling their reclaimed collection. And basically it's all Indonesian teak. And they use everything from the trunk to the roots to the branches, and they're all separated in different collections with a very unique look. So it's a very cool product.
Awesome. And I know it's part of LBI Boyd. So does that mean that there are some acoustic properties with this, or some way that you can manipulate it to have some acoustic properties?
Yeah, so later this summer, they're going to be releasing an acoustical product family, basically. And what they're going to do is it's still going to have the same aesthetic to it, the same look, but it's going to be, there's going to be gaps between the boards, and behind the wood, there's going to be a what they call their eco core, which is a recycled felt material that's going to be behind it. And then that's going to give it the sound absorption rating.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. What should designers keep in mind when it comes to specifying, because this is real wood, is there things they should keep in mind? Does it need to be finished, or are there spaces where it should maybe not go?
Well, I mean, you definitely wouldn't want to put this material outside, just exposed to the elements. They do have a collection that can go in exterior environments, but it still needs to be protected from the downpour and, any snow or anything like that. Yeah, for sure. But no, otherwise, any interior environment, it can be used as wayfinding. It can be used, I've seen it used as headboards, as bar facing, wall panels, obviously, ceilings. Yeah, it can be used in such a variety of ways. And there's a lot of application photos on the website that show the different ways it can be used.
Awesome. Is this something where designers could do like a branded wall and like do a custom branded situation?
A logo or whatnot. Yeah, for sure. You can definitely do that. In fact, that's been used in both corporate and kind of educational type of settings.
Oh, awesome. I love that. Mm-hmm. So anything designers, we have a couple minutes, anything designers should keep in mind with your lines when it comes to if they need some acoustics or if they need something fun, like when should designers reach out to you?
They can reach out to me in the very beginning if they know that acoustics is going to be a concern or an issue, and I'm happy to kind of walk through that with them and go through the different options. We have a few different acoustical lines, so and they're all great and they all fit in different ways. So we really try to be a resource and kind of corner the market, I guess, for that type of material. And then, anything else, of course, we're happy to jump in with samples, happy to schedule a Zoom meeting with the factory if you'd like. We've done that on a number of occasions. So we get the experts in there from the factory and just make it worth their while.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What are some things you wish designers knew when it comes to creating spaces that are acoustically comfortable? What are things that we always mess up or we always forget about?
Gosh, that's a great question. I would say, probably just think about soft surfaces in a space. There's a lot of wood, a lot of kind of polished concrete, a lot of drywall, obviously. So a lot of glass. So all those are very hard surfaces with very low NRC ratings. So you just create this ambient kind of echo chamber. So you just want to consider soft surfaces to whether it be area rugs or sofas with soft cushions or soft back chairs or anything like that. Anything you can add that's got some sort of softness to it, you can absorb some of that ambient sound too.
Awesome. And I know you work with some acoustic wall panels, and I didn't know that some textiles are better than others at absorbing sound or letting sound pass through them. How can a designer sort of know that and know that they're on the right path when it comes to like picking out a textile like that?
Yeah, so really when it comes to fabrics or textiles, it's really important that the material doesn't have an acrylic back to it. So it can't really be an upholstery fabric or something like that. You'll still get some absorption out of it, but because of that acrylic backing, it actually, it takes a lot of the performance away. So you want it to be open. You want it to be kind of an open weave and things like that.
So just because it's a soft textile doesn't necessarily mean that it will absorb. You have to make sure that you do it a little bit.
Yeah, at least it won't absorb to the fullness of maybe what you could be getting if you used a different type of fabric. Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
As someone who felt like she was basically stabbing the dark every time I did acoustics, it's really helpful to have your insight on that. Designers, clearly Robert knows a lot about acoustics, so shoot him some questions right now. In the meantime, you can also request samples from our site right now. Anything else, Robert, we should know about acoustics or working with any of these two products?
Nothing jumps to mind. I would just say feel free to check out our website, which is arnw.net. And we have links to all the manufacturers there, and you can kind of dive in and get more information.
Awesome. And designers, it was great to see you. If you'd like to register for another snack break, you can smash that register now button. I will note that for starting next week, the next month will be all folks that are featured in our new library. So hopefully we'll see you then. But Robert, in the meantime, it was great to chat with you about acoustics. I learned so much.
Thanks, Ren. Yeah, my pleasure.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
See you later, everybody. Bye.
Take care. Bye.